All right, so everything is black. Yes, let's go ahead and transfer over to where you are right now. And where you are is, unsurprisingly, the jail cell that you slept in last night after being booked and having your rights read to you and all of that. No, spent the night in a cruddy Texas jail. Do we remember why we're here? Yes. The night was uncomfortable. The bedding was not great, but it was sufficient. It was not cold, more just like warm, but like warmer than you would like for it to be, but not like, you know, like the AC didn't really reach this part of the building. Today is Saturday. I actually need to fix that. Do you have your things? No, like in a typical jail situation, you don't have things. You have basically the clothes on your back, and you've been sitting in jail for the last little bit trying to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to deal with this. Do we remember the ritual the cult is carried out in the bathroom aisle? Do we need specific materials to carry it out or replicate this sigils? Do you guys remember that? Because it seems like in the very least you don't have enough people to do it. Is Roger even here? You can hear Judge Judy coming from the other room. You can hear it, like, fairly clearly. It's an episode where someone got, like, a tattoo done of Winnie the Pooh, but the tattoo artist did a really bad job of it, and they're trying to write it off as them not wanting to do copyright infringement, but instead do just something that's like, you know, his interpretation of it, therefore being, you know, within, you know, creative use. And Judge Judy does not seem like she's having any of that shit. According to this list, you guys want to scrawl the Home Depot logo on the wall. I don't know how you're going to do that. Just wait for Roger. Well, that's kind of the same as sit and wait like a good little non-binary person. Same kind of vibe. Look around the cell as you're praying to the Home Depot god. You're not entirely sure how you go about praying, but you decide you're going to do it the way that, you know, most of the time people pray for things and stuff in most religions. You figure it would probably work. You just sort of like think about it real hard. About how you really wish and hope that, you know, the Home Depot god will just, you know, take that money out of your motel room and just have a real good think, hands held together, just thinking about it as you try and sketch the Home Depot logo into the wall of the cell using your fingernails, which unsurprisingly just screws up your fingernails. And doesn't really achieve nails and teeth. I don't think you can use your teeth to draw the Home Depot logo into concrete. A little bit of time passes, and it doesn't really seem like anything much happens. If the Home Depot god, like any normal god, heard you, you wouldn't have known. You just have to hope that he will, and believe that he will. You hear the TV flicker off and some voices talking. It's a little bit too quiet for you to actually make out what they're saying and who it is. You suspect strongly that it's probably at least Roger, if no one else. But it sounds like at least two voices. What is in our cell? Not much of anything. There's a light that's affixed into the ceiling in such a way that you cannot actually interact with it. There's the little bed thing that's built into the wall. There's a combination toilet/sink in the corner. Do we still have our inventory stuff? You don't have anything but the clothes on your back right now because you are in jail and they take your stuff when you go to jail. That's one of the bad things about jail. You don't have access to your journal, your backpack, your bird seed that I completely forgot that you guys had for the last little bit. Pee in the sink. Well, if you pee in the sink is partly like also the... I don't know if you guys have seen, like, what actual, like, jail toilets look like, but it's, like, in the back where you, like the tank, they have just, that's where the sink is. And that leads down into a normal-looking toilet. Have you guys ever been to jail? No? Okay. No. Anyway. After spending a bit of time just kind of dicking around and looking around the room and praying and stuff like that, Roger approaches the barge to the room. This is an older style jailhouse. It's not like, it's more of a holding cell than anything else. It's not actually a jail. A jail would imply like its own like separate building specifically meant for it. This is like while you're waiting to be sent to another jail or to an actual prison, you're held in a small room like this. But anyway, Roger shows up at the bars. He says, "Can I just tell you how much of a waste of my time you are?" He's on the other side of the bars. You can't punch him. "I looked over your stuff, and it doesn't look like... I don't know what you are trying to pull. I don't know what you're trying to do here. But let me be very clear to you. If I catch you so much as jaywalking, I will throw you in jail. Again, do not..." He kind of like... he paces back and forth for a minute as he tries to get his head together. "If you and your brother-in-law have a problem with each other, you guys need to work it on your own. You do not need to be bringing me involved into this. Now, I'm going to let you go, even though this is a waste of my time and a waste of my energy to be dealing with this. But you two are going to have to work this out yourselves. You understand me?" He lets you out of the room. He leads you outside of the police building where you see Daryl chilling in my best attempt at photoshopping regular clothes. Roger kind of stares at you and gives you a whole bunch of other stuff. The stuff that you brought with you. Noticeably, he's not giving you your money. He mentions this and he says, "I don't know if it was you. I don't know if it was one of your friends down at the Home Depot. But you let them know the same thing. If I catch them jaywalking, I will arrest them as well. I need..." "I'm leaving. Y'all work this out." Roger leaves to go back into the police station. "What is our money status?" "You check your bag. There is no money in there." Daryl says, "Let's go home." You say, "Home?" He says, "Listen, just talk about it in a minute, okay?" You check your journal. You don't remember Daryl being anyone other than the guy that works at Randall's. You don't remember him prior to coming to this town. You don't remember your supposed sister. But yet, somehow, he was able to bring you or get you out of jail. You wander over to his house. It's a bit of a ways. Do you bail you out? I mean, you don't have your money. I'll tell you that much. You head inside. Mirror the house. Sure. You turn around and pull out your mirror. You see blood, generally speaking, in the middle of the living room. It kind of like taps you on the shoulder and it's just like, can you pay attention to me for a fucking second? I've had to deal with a lot of bullshit recently. I've been unpacking, and who the fuck are you? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, do I have a wife? Are you my wife? Where's my wife? Do I have a baby? Is my baby okay? Where's my baby? Where the fuck is my wife? I lied to Roger. I told him that we're related. I was able to show him pictures of who I think is my wife. On our wedding day? I don't know who the fuck this is. Why do I not remember my wife? Did you break into my house? Did you break into my house and steal my food? Why would you do that? Did you put this shit here? There's so many options. Yeah, he just kind of dumped a lot on you right there. And he definitely, like, are a little taken aback by the whole thing. So you explain to him, hey, like, you show him the letter again. You've shown him this letter before, but again, you're showing it now. You say, I believe people in the memory of those people have been disappearing. I have been writing down information in this journal about it. I believe your wife is Elise, who is my sister, has been taken by this, and the memory of that has been taken from both of us. He kind of just looks over your journal, sitting down at, like, the table, which would have been cool if I had set up an animation for that, but you're just kind of to just trust me that he's sitting at the table rather than standing in front of it. And he's looking over the information that you've written down. You know none of this makes any sense, right? Like, this is bullshit. Like, he reads over a few pages. He reads over the weird thing with Noah that you guys have written down. He kind of looks at you, but kind of ignores it. You ask him, why did you bail us out? I was talking to Roger. He says the money that you had on you is gone. Honestly, I don't know how much money you had on you. I don't care. I want you... Roger just decided to let you go without having to pay for that because he, I guess, misplaced it. Hopefully it wasn't that much. Roger's usually a pretty honest guy, so I trust that he didn't steal it or anything. I don't know what happened. You're just lucky. You're incredibly lucky. You know that? He spends a little bit more time reading over your journal, and eventually he gets to the end. He looks back at you and he says, All right, so let's assume that I believe any of this bullshit. Assume, and you are paying me back for that window, because I know you did it now. Assuming I believe you on any of this shit, now what? Now what do we do? Because, like, I've got a whole bunch of shit I don't need. Like, I got a whole bunch of women's clothing. I got a baby. I got a baby crib. I don't have a wife or a baby. So you say, look, go ahead and sign the names you know. I asked Noah to do it. It's how I've been trying to keep track of who knows who. So that way we can, confirm that if you forget someone. I can confirm that I have forgotten people. You know that you've forgotten people. You forgot your wife. Listen, I'm going to do some more investigating. I need to check the motel for Christopher's existence. Do you want to come with me? Also, you should come with me to Home Depot. Also, did Bilbo Baggins fuck the goblins or not? I'm sorry about the window. We need to find Elise. And then you show him the mirror. And you show him what you saw in the mirror and the blood just covering the floor. It kind of gives you a weird look when you bring up the Bilbo Baggins thing. And you're just, what the fuck? And he's completely sidetracked by the mirror, though. And he completely ignores everything about the Bilbo thing that you asked him. He looks over at the ground, then he kind of like has a weird look on his face. Then he looks back at you, at the mirror. He looks at the ground again. He's having a moment, trying to figure out what's going on. Trying to figure out what is going on with the... I'm going to go and bring up the mirror again. He kind of just takes the mirror from you and just stares at it, the way you've been staring at things. You realize you look kind of like a weirdo when you do this, as an aside. Walking around backwards around the room, aiming the mirror such that he can see stuff. He comes back over, hands you the mirror, and does as you asked to write down the names that he knows, which I'm going to have to double check and see. It seems like it's the same group of people that Noah seems to know. He hesitates over signing whether or not he knows Elise or not. It's clear that she does exist, he says. I mean, her stuff's here, man. It's everywhere. If he doesn't sign any of the pages that have to do with people we present really remember or make a note of, he signs all the ones that Noah signed. Same list of people. Which also includes Noah, obviously. I mean, I know I have a wife. I have to have a wife. I have pictures of her, you know? He shows you pictures of their wedding day, of pictures of her, who you know now to be your sister, probably. Like, pregnant and, getting, like... stuff together for a move and stuff like that. But he does... Alright. Anyway, so you say, look, I'm going to go to the Home Depot. I'm going to ask the Home Depot entity, God, whatever stuff. Because I need to figure this out, And also I have a few questions for that guy. Because I've been reading up on what people have been saying. And people seem to be... People seem to be upset at him. And you ask, do you want to come with us? He says, sure. Sure. I don't have anything else to be doing. I don't have to go to work or anything. Listen, I have to open the store. I put on my work clothes so I can go to work. Can we meet after work? Well, no one else works there, so I've got to do it myself. Chat says, sure, okay. Agree for now. Daryl walks out of his house with you in tow, locking the door behind him. As he's locking it, he says, if you need into my house sometime, can you just save me the trouble of getting it replaced and just, ask? Like a normal person would? He wanders off towards Randall's, and you are left by yourself to do things. You head on over to the Home Depot, and then inside to the inside of the Home Depot, which is this screen right there. Begin just wandering around it, trying to see if you can find anyone to talk to about this stuff. You end up finding a Home Depot employee to start talking to. You say, y'all need to help Daryl fix his windows after all the trouble you put him through? Yeah. And also, that was real mean of you guys to, leave him with the bag of having to clean that up all by himself. And I'm going to be bringing him by later to meet. Is the manager? I want to speak to the manager. You say in your best Karen voice. I want to speak to the manager and, complain. He kind of just stares at you for a minute. He's just kind of spew a whole bunch of stuff. He says, oh, yes, we will be speaking to the manager tonight. Home Depot, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. We will ask if we can acquire the supplies to fix the window. In the meantime, I will help with cleaning up the store. Bazinga. Home Depot. So with that, realizing that is fine, you go ahead and head on over to the Ford dealership. You wander over towards the Ford dealership. Ford being the truck brand of Texas, as they try and constantly remind you on every commercial. Here are a collection of the newest models of cars. Me not knowing the names of Ford cars is going to be a thing. They have a billion different F-150 black pickup trucks. And when I say pickup truck, I'm not talking about your dad's little tiny pickup truck that you drive down a dirt road. I mean the kind of thing that you drive up on top of Mount Everest with. We're talking a big ass truck with way too many wheels and just obliterates gas 2 miles to the gallon. Just a huge tank to make up for the fact that it will not go anywhere. You kind of meander around what is labeled Jonathan Briscoe's or Briscoe Ford dealership. You assume that this is Jonathan Briscoe that you were referring to earlier. A man approaches you as you begin staring at various different cars, acting like you know what cars are. He says, now, hello there. Welcome. I see you're looking at that Ford F-150. It's a great car. Great truck. Are you thinking about getting one, or just thinking about looking into it today? What's going on? How can I help you today? Come inside. Let's get some coffee. You start waving your mirror around while he's trying to have a conversation with you, and don't see any blood from here. There's no blood in the vicinity of the Ford dealership. You say, free coffee? Hell yeah. As he like leads you back towards the interior of the Ford dealership, which I didn't bother to actually make a graphic for, so just pretend. And you say, "What's a truck?" as he hands you a cup of coffee. He kind of looks at you. Kind of looks at you like a person who has just met you standing right next to a truck. You say, "Nice to meet you, Jonathan Briscoe. Have you noticed anything strange lately?" Then you offer him a truck. Is it sort of like a, "What is a man?" sort of thing? He decides to take it as a, like, philosophical question because accepting it as anything else is a completely insane thing to do. You know, a truck represents freedom, you know? There's just the freedom of, you know, driving up a hill and looking out over the valley. There's something about that. That's what a truck is. A truck is the freedom to haul your friends' stuff when they're moving in. A truck is a lot. Now, you say you've got a truck that you want to sell. We do trade-ins on Ford trucks. Do you happen to have a Ford truck? The correct answer to this is no. You came in by bus. I don't know why you're offering him a truck, but you've decided that you're going to try and offer to sell him a truck. You ask him if he's seen anything strange lately. He said he decides to ignore this question. After a little bit of thought and a little bit of a concerned look at the man or person, I guess I should say, the person, because Chad has decided that they're non-binary, I suppose, or just whatever chat feels like, whatever your canon feeling of what no is. Jonathan looks at you and just sort of thinks about you for a minute and goes, no, I haven't noticed nothing weird recently. But you said you had a truck that you wanted to sell. Are you interested in picking up a newer one? We just got the 2021 model of the F-150, which I'm sure is a thing, and I didn't bother to look up. I say me as Colin, not Jonathan. And you say, I'm not looking to buy anything right now anyway. I'm just looking to get something in the future if everything goes well. You know, a truck is just sort of a metaphor for Jesus when you think about it, you know? And, hey, tell me more about yourself. Anyway, also, can you look over my journal of people that live in this town? It kind of just glosses over a great deal of that information because you're just being a problem right now. You show him the journal. He kind of looks over it and he's like, it's interesting. But hey, you know, if you're looking to see yourself getting what? He's reading over it and just, you know, he's like, you know what? I think I think I'm gonna go ahead and I think I need to start closing up for the night. If you're interested in getting a truck, let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, all right. He ushers you out of the building and locks the door behind you. You notice that the time for it to be open includes the time that it is currently, but he has still somehow just escorted you out of the building. That's suspicious as fuck. Is it though? Is it suspicious to be like, hey, what is a truck? He gave you the journal back, of course. He didn't ban you because you're poor. He kicked you out because you're being a freaking weirdo. Tell him we were joking about what is a truck. You yell that into the building, but you don't see him. It's getting late. What do you guys want to do now? I'm going to go ahead and open up another poll now that you've decided to disturb a poor man. Okay, to be clear, you can't see him. Like he's in the back of the store where you cannot like see him anymore. You cannot have a conversation with him. He's not in your general vicinity to have a conversation with. So all the places that you guys want to go that aren't to Randall's are on the way to Randall's or Home Depot. So how about we check those places on the way there? because I'm gonna spoil it. The nail place is closed right now because it's late. Same with the, church. But you still remember who Raymond and Noah are, so there's that. Carrying that birdseed for another day. Go to the nail place anyway. All right, sure. Boop. There's Starbucks. The nail place is right next door. As you pass by the Starbucks and the nail salon, you notice that Raymond is locking up, and you go ahead and catch his eye on the way out. You ask him, how you been? And you give him the birdseed and ask him to sign the names, but don't show him Noah's page. Well, I think I've been doing better than you. I heard about your little run-in. Proud of you, kid. It's good. What exactly did you do? You hand him the birdseed and the journal and say, hey, take a look at this. Also, I got this because I was thinking of you. You gotta remember, you guys spent the entire night in jail. He kind of looks at you, and he looks at the birdseed in the way that his head kind of jerks around when he's looking at anything. His expression kind of sours a bit, but he says, thanks. You ask him to go ahead and check out the journal. You get him to check over the journal, but explicitly try not to show him Noah's page. He's like, what's this all about? You tell him that it's just a little thing that you're working on, trying to get to know everyone in town, so on and so forth. He says, all right. He looks it over. You flip the page of Noah a little bit faster so that way he doesn't have to look at it. And he signs off on some of it. It's kind of weird, but I guess that's fine. Anyway, I'm gonna can we also withhold the Home Depot page? Sure. No, it's been a real scream, but I have to get home now. It's been a long day. Can we apologize? How do you want to go about apologizing for the birdseed thing? I eat this stuff all the time. Thought it was a nice gesture. I didn't. Sorry, you know what? Honestly, that's on brand for you guys. So you know what? That's fine. This is. Well, all right. I'm gonna go home now. Hey, I couldn't help but notice that your nails are a little bit chipped. I'm normally open all the time, but if you want, you could drop by tomorrow and I could fix them up for you. With multiple answers on, church did not get a significant number of votes, so I'm going to say that you guys don't mention church. But you are going to mention that the cops stole your money and ask what time is good. He says, don't worry about it. Just swing by sometime. How about 8 to 10-ish? And I'll be here. I'll make a special visit just for you. PM? No, AM. I'm going to go ahead and go on home now. I'll see you tomorrow. And with that, he heads off. When is church? Church is generally speaking sometime between about 8 and 10 AM. Yes. Rev, why? But hey, if you show up around time for church, you can get your nails done for free. Rev, you lied. This is a dating sim. Anyway, you wander over towards, you head towards the Randalls. At that point, you hear a beep of a sound of a alarm being set. I don't know if you guys have ever worked in a grocery store before, but they have this like beep that goes off while they're like locking up. That's a real crusty Randalls. Yeah, I know it is. I'm sorry. It's the best image I could get. Anyway, not like a fire alarm. Like he's setting the alarm for the night. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, he heads on out the door. He says, all right, so you want to do this thing or what? All right, cool. Chat seems to be agreed in yes. Is there a small Starbucks on the side of Randall's? Yes. Most Randalls also have a combination Starbucks. This is not the same Starbucks that Crystal works at. This is a different Starbucks. You head over towards the Home Depot, which is open as you would have expected it to be. And the Home Depot employees are, they're setting up as you would have expected. Daryl seems confused by the whole situation. One of them approaches him and says, Home Depot. We're sorry for what we did. Home Depot. Did I do that? Daryl just kind of stares at the employee and says, yes, you did. So what are we doing here? Is this about the thing you were talking? Is this about the entry about the manager you were talking about? Boop, 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 boop. And almost answer that question. Here we go. Almost as if to answer that question, the manager appears. Daryl is obviously very alarmed and surprised about everything that's going on, as much as you were the first time you saw this happen. Introduce Daryl to the manager. Tell the Home Depot god that he's invited to church. Do you know what a federal crime is? And then look at the Home Depot god through the mirror. So, real quick, looking at the Home Depot god through the mirror reveals basically the same information you had the last time. Daryl's in the way of some of where the blood was. Same with the cultists, but they are, you know, they're supposed to be in front of it, but because of the way the layers in this stack, that's on the walls and such, not on them. Just for the sake of things being clear. Hello, No. Hello, Daryl. I'm sorry for the trouble you threw. Thank Noah for offer. I don't think he should be there. However, I think some of you should go to repair. It's best if Noah is on our side through this as well. I'm glad to see Daryl is here. I apologize for the trouble that I put you through. My unending seems in this way. Daryl is alarmed, confused, and all of the above. If you look back to your reaction to meeting the Home Depot manager the first time, you'll kind of get a general idea of his facial expression. You wonder whether or not you looked like that precisely. Tell Home Depot God is almost certain that Raymond is turning people away from the church, not you. Who do you have a crush on? Give the Home Depot God our phone numbers so the cultists can put it in their phone for whenever they need him. Calm Daryl and assure that him is okay. What did you do with the money? What do you know about the blood? Do you know anything about Raymond and Noah's relationship? I like how all of the questions that could be asked, everyone's just like, but my favorite two, they're fighting. My boyfriends, they're fighting. Jonathan was acting weird. What's up with that? Should we romance Noah or Raymond? Should we do next, boss man? Whisper, it's okay. Calmly guide Daryl through what's happening. Not know anything about blood. That is precise why I've asked to help us. It is location. I feel like it is related
to the problems
we addressing here. I have not bothered to check nature of Rain and No's relationship. Jonathan seems to have confused threats. I am learning more that I do not understand. However, I misunderstand anything relevant. I only have a partial hand in the money. However, I can reassure you that not the one who stole it, and you understand soon enough. I do not know. Tell us about Justin. Ask if other people like me are doing stuff for the Home Depot god. We already know that the employees are. Is there any way you can trust you? What should I do next? Oh, Home Depot, no one. That's good. And if he knows any other entities that exist in the world. Okay, cool. If you want me to answer who stole the money, I cannot give you a precise answer, or you will to understand it. So let me answer now, no. Or if you prefer we can have that understanding. Other entities exist, but as far as I know, none of them has taken an interest. This time, this space. Jim have a solution tomorrow. Jim will have a solution for us tomorrow. I do not wish to take his agency. Jim, you notice, it seems confused by this. Jim, for those of you not aware, is one of the other Home Depot employees. He's confused by this answer because he seems to not understand what is happening. I will think on this. Home Depot. Here's Johnny. Fuck. These are all so bad. Daryl is confused still. You've reassured him that everything's okay, and he's taking your word for it. You also have to remember that his, respect for you is relative to the fact that you broke into his house once recently. What do you ask Jim what's troubling him? Vomit on the bridge, what's up with that? Nudge Daryl to ask questions. Are we homeless now? Where are we going to sleep tonight? Does Daryl have a question? Ask Daryl for questions. Will Daryl face any consequences to being witness to this? What do you mean by being witness to this? This ritual. Okay. Do not know what has happened. Daryl, at your request, at your suggestion, begins to just shout incoherently at the Home Depot entity. Where's my wife? Do I have a baby? What is going on? What the hell are you? What is this? Do not know what has happened. Your wife to your child, Daryl. No, have been here looking at themselves. I have for not being able to better answer. You believe you did a wife. Do not know what has become of her. The solution staying will. The solution where you will be staying will make self-evident. Wish to take away from the game. The behind the one, the players in this game. The entity behind the robbery was the one who created the stain on the edge. Fighting is more difficult and easier than it seems. Let us be on topic of what is to happen. You will be approached by he discovers Sam. We will enact that plan. You will be approached by tomorrow when he discovers Sam. We will enact. We will do what we can, what's causing this, causing not to be, and we will do what we can about what is causing this. I'm sorry I not to be more forward. You will be approached by tomorrow when he discovers Sam. Jim seems, as you look to him to see what's up with him, you see that he's completely confused but deep in thought. Clearly a lot has been put on him here. He's somehow going to have the solution to how everyone is going to be able to come up with a way to deal with what's going on here. And yet, he doesn't seem to look like he has any idea what's going on. Daryl seems completely confused by what's going on. Like, the entirety of his, like, beyond just a normal day's work at a retail job, he has been completely drained of all sort of, like, emotion and thought. Whatever is going on with him at this point is completely, like, beyond him. He's broken. Everything that's been confusing him for the past few days has suddenly just broken him. Can hugging Daryl be a free action? If chat collectively wants to hug Daryl, they may. And with that, the Home Depot entity fades from existence once again. The other Home Depot employees look at Jim, look at Daryl, look at you. Jim decides to go on ahead by himself, heading back towards his own house. He carries one of the incense burners, one of the tiki torches filled with garlic that has become a common sight amongst the ritualists here. In order to get you home, he carries one for himself. Jim has a lot to think about. Daryl looks at you and he says, after you give him a hug, because chat is all about hugging him, I guess you can stay with me. Yeah, if you don't mind. Okay, so between dab and don't dab, it looks like you decide not to dab. You resist the urge to dab after being proven right about everything that you've been telling Daryl about. After being justified for breaking and entering into his house, you decide not to dab. Because right now doesn't seem like an emotionally sensitive thing to do to dab. So you just pat Daryl on the back instead and say, it's okay, buddy. It's a lot, I know, but we can figure this out together. Daryl is family now. I know this is really difficult. You thank him for his offer. And you say, you know, this is a really difficult thing. You thank him for his offer and accept it. You comfort Jim as well. Jim has already left. And then you head home to Daryl's place. On the way there, do you want to grab stuff from the motel and then go? The books you probably are carrying around on you. I bet it's just the money and the clothing. So you inform everyone that you'd like to go get your stuff from the motel. Doing your best to make sure that everything is done in as stealthy a way as possible. Crossing over the bridge, the vomit's still there. You're being led through the streets by the Home Depot employees. You notice that Roger is not there, but you still know who Roger is, so I guess that's a bonus. Maybe. You get to the motel parking lot and head on inside. Heading inside of the motel, you're able to find your clothing and all of your stuff. The one suspiciously missing thing, though I'll have to move his character portrait, is the barrels of money are completely gone. See? They're gone. You gather your stuff. It is now officially sinking in that you are completely and utterly broke. You don't have the barrels of money. You do not have the money that you had on your person. You're completely, like, tapped out. We wrote on the wall. What did you guys write on the wall again? I don't remember that. I am nowhere. Please remember. And then all of your relationships with people. Daryl's definitely just letting you go. Like, he's kind of, like, numb at this point. He's not really paying attention to the fact that, you know, there's a ritual circle, and that the bed is slightly unmade from you sleeping in between the sheets, or under the bed, I mean. He's just kind of numb to everything. You head on all the way back to Daryl's house under the safe escort of the Home Depot employees who carry the garlic incense as per usual. And with that, you head in on side. Daryl sets you up a nice spot on the couch. It's not private, but, you know, it's something. You thank him for the escort, and I think with that, that's what we're going to have to call it for the night. Jerking off anyway. You guys will have to decide whether or not that happened between sessions. That's your own deal.